Welcome aboard, everybody. We return once again to Any Given Monday. And this is a special episode. It's a family affair. A real family affair. Cal, he's just woken up after getting absolutely fed by a halfback twice on Saturday. Like, man got hit in the sternum and had to get a concussion test. He got whacked that hard.
I didn't.
And
Let's just get that out there.
And Cal's lovely mum, Karen, who has been involved with a lot more football teams than Cal.
Which is hard to believe. Cal's a club slut.
Yeah. The man did play 5 years of under 18 since he was about 10.
How'd you play 5 years for 7 premierships? I don't get it.
I was still the smallest.
Well, you're just in the photos, because that still counts, man. Don't worry. You can just be in the photo.
Yeah, I think that's what Jack Morris did all those years at Albany Creek.
Yeah.
My brother was in that team.
Must have had a fair side to keep winning for that long.
No. Could have been too good if Jake Morris was in it.
They did have a fair side, though, at Albany Creek then.
Yeah.
Any sort of big names in it?
They had Anthony Gadd, who's
Gaddy, lucky he wasn't playing on the
They
weekend.
had Brendan Fry as well, didn't they?
BJ Burgess. Brendan Fry's younger than me.
Oh, yeah, he's a year younger.
Who else? Jerome Leedy.
Oh, Leedy, he's
Ian
good.
Riccardi.
Oh, Riccardi went to Manly. I went to Penrith and the brother went to Manly.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Gary went to Manly.
Yep.
And anyway, let's talk about
Well,
the
we'll
start.
go our week first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
How are
your
you
week?
feeling, Freddie? How's things?
Yeah, how's the digit?
Yeah.
Enormous.
Mate, the digits not do. Do I sound weird in your headphones?
No,
Yeah,
you sound
you
right.
sound like
You're a little bit.
You sound
Sound
like
alright.
you'd fail 5 drug tests while you speak.
The
What's
I tried to do my best Cooper Cronk impression on the weekend. I just fucking couldn't pull it off, could I? Just playing in a fucking tuxedo. Obviously, there's a different level of skill between me and him.
Well,
And back row.
you were
beside Jerry.
you were 1 for 1, really.
Yeah.
Threw a great ball to set Keenan up, and then when we were rolling through the middle, you thought you'd change the plan and throw it wide where they had an overlap of defenders.
Yeah, we kind of had momentum too in that stage.
Yeah.
So I
That was
kind of killed it.
That's what we call a turning point in the
Yeah.
coaching circles. You know, if we were doing a video review, we'd isolate that and we'd show you how it wasn't on.
Yeah, but
and we
can't-
needed to have more shape there.
We're kind of only in that game because of me anyway. So, but anyway, yeah. But so now I get the surgery on Wednesday, and then
how long's the recovery time?
well, I'm just got to watch this season out, and then have to play one more year next year.
Is it true
Love it.
that they've sent you that what is it, donkey's for Achilles tendon to get surgically implanted in your finger? You bought that from
Thought it was Dane's banjo string.
Yeah.
No, I asked for Vori's penis because it's so the ligament would have been so long. So, but no, they didn't give it to
Well, you
me.
should have got his ego. That's the biggest thing in the bloke. That would have kept you good. And you'd always play well. Doesn't matter how bad. 3.5 out of 10 still dominated the game.
Yeah, but my finger was fucking sore after the game. It's blown up again. Like,
Did you tackle anybody?
That's gross.
On my right side, I got a couple. You see, I was grass cutting. I was majorly grass cutting. I just didn't.
Have you thought of maybe doing that when you come back? Like tackle people in the leg so they stop instead of wrestling them? Just saying.
Well,
I'll give you a lesson
I
if you
can't
want.
wait till you play your one solo game this year, and I'm just fucking gonna take notes and just
Please.
fucking
We're
extract
going to
everything
record it,
from
I reckon. We'll have to get the game recorded.
Please,
we'll do
mate.
it. And we'll watch it back and
You
we'll
know,
do a
I'm about,
commentary.
I'm out the quality, not the quantity. I'll just go out there, make a couple of tackles. Look what I got about. Did you see the second side play on the weekend? The bar ain't set fucking high, brother. I'll just tell you. I might go to the brook for a few before I play and still back myself to go better than some of them blokes. I'm just telling you.
So, Karen, rugby league tragic. First question: where was Cal conceived?
Oh, fuck.
Can't even remember.
We
was that memorable? I can't remember.
we really did
And it was that long ago too. Cal's like 104 these days. So.
I am now.
I wanted a girl. But
You got one. What are you talking
very
about?
disappointed.
No.
I'll
And
just say I'm one and then go play in the women's Div 3 comp probably.
I've seen them.
Would
And
make the A grade
Yeah,
side.
nah, not a
yeah,
chance.
some of them are pretty tough.
Some of them don't get backed by halfbacks. They run a decent line as well.
And so, Karen, you're strapping for over 2 or 3 teams at the moment, or
All the west sides.
all the
and
west
Ego.
sides.
Pretty
And
much.
and have you been?
I'm sure that check's still in the mail too, eh?
What's that?
We're still waiting to pay. Yeah, Pete will be on the we're not live, so
That's all right.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
lawsuit coming.
Well, yeah, I'm helping both teams, sort of.
Yeah.
Does Trig ever
Right.
dip into his? Oh, well, you know how we used to call it in the old days a paper bag, but he's got one of those Woolies bag where they stash all his money in big Trigs. The bloke, they hire a limo to bring Trigs to training. And he could spare a few pineapples out of that for you.
You said Woolies bag, I just sort of Pringles straight away for some reason. I was like, what do you mean?
His is a different,
There's different sort of Woolies
yeah.
bag. Yeah, Pringle's got his dirty boots and socks from last week still in it.
At least Pringle brings a bag. What about Nathan?
Oh, I swear he doesn't own shoes. I saw Nathan.
Only bag he brings is the one Freddie gives him. I think.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Did we have to go there?
Yeah, but he pays $350 for that bag. So Karen, was you into footy before you had
Yeah.
the boys, or yeah, and then you kind of dragged him into it.
Sort of. His dad played, so his dad played for West.
Oh, he was a West man too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of connection in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blokes who have played some sort of grade at West, and their kids are still running around somewhere. You always like Trimbo and that, and people go like, and you don't realise how much footy like some people's family have played.
Yeah,
It's awesome, the connection.
They so I used to watch the boys at school when I was at Pine Rivers back in the day.
Jeez.
And then
Oh, the whole rivers.
his dad he's played for West, so he was with West and then finished when he was 25. And then the boys were like, when we had the boys, they were like, when can we play? And started playing. So they originally started at Rana.
Oh, that explain a few things, Cal, about technical deficiencies.
And
That's right, that's
Simple
right.
ball handling
We-
skills.
we-
you know?
That's
we
why he's really
soon
good at sucking
moved.
cock.
And then went from there to Albany Creek. And
It's
then
another great
up
move.
until
Great idea.
Okay, Freddie.
Fairwell. And then,
My daughter wanted to come tonight, and Jane says, "No, I'm not. I know what they're going to talk about." I said, "It's not going to be that bad." Cal's mum's going to be on. She goes, "Yeah, that's not going to stop Christian."
Well, I
It was right. Yeah.
I asked Karen,
I know, but
when you come on, do you want us to tone it down? She goes,
No.
not at all.
So far, yeah.
But you got to know that in the three of us have a group chat. We talk about the podcast things, and this afternoon the group chat comes in, and Christian goes, Is Cal's mum a copper?
And I thought it was
And I
a
was like,
misprint. I'm going,
I don't think
why
so.
would we have a fucking copper come on our show?
That's what I said. I bloody hope not.
I know coppers, and I
Could
don't
come here
tell them
with
to
3 sets
listen
of
to this show. They'll just be fucking doing a stakeout in the Mitchie car park, waiting to arrest half the people we know.
Just rocks up in a paddy wagon, you
That's
know, ready to go.
I'll drop you home, Freddie, at your own house.
I nearly did become a copper.
No,
Oh, thank God you
no,
didn't.
I'm a nurse. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
a fair few years ago now, maybe 5-10 years ago, I actually applied and I was going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, shit happened and
Yeah,
I'm
well.
not back to being a nurse. I'm still a nurse.
Yeah,
So.
Cal can ruin your life. And,
No.
Typical.
He
It was
before
after
that. It was after he'd been born. It's what
So,
made me
Cal,
join.
your missus used to play footy too, didn't she?
Oh, she tried to.
Oh, that's the spirit. That's fair. Oh, wow.
I don't think she listens to this.
She did all right.
I'm pretty sure she'll listen to this.
She'll be
one.
listening with you and your mum on. She'll
When we
she's
tag-
your Karen's on. She'll be.
Yeah, she'll be on there.
Yeah, when we tag her into this now, that'll get you in a bit of
She's like,
strife.
Greg, you got to mention. Make it into it.
Mum pushed her into it.
So how did you
I
meet?
was-
How did you meet her, Cal?
Oh, I asked this the other night.
Great.
Internet.
Did
Yeah.
ya?
Yeah. She wasn't expecting him to be such a bit of a over fucking dreamboat, and
Such a
then
hunk.
she got there and thought, "Oh, this is all right.
yeah.
Let's keep stick around."
Jewish dating site?
Hey?
Jewish dating site or?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It was.
Bumble or something like that. It wasn't.
That's right. We got to.
Bumble, isn't that? That's like a fucking app you'll use to fucking cut film, game day film.
No, it's not, is it?
Yes, it is.
I've got no
Bumble.
idea.
Well,
He
Freddie's got a
wouldn't-
new personal sponsor of Omegle, and I thought that
Omegle.
might have
And
been
how,
where you
so
picked it
when
up
she's
from,
over, how do you be quiet with the fam home?
Hmm?
Huh? you have
We've got soundproofing in all
Oh,
walls.
thank God.
Yeah,
Genius.
you'd need that.
You need it for that 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You'd need that when the alpha male's on the job over here. There'd be car alarms going off outside and that.
Where did you get this from, Roddy?
Just sweating,
You
just
know,
bees,
yeah.
just over it, just
Neighbours ringing up the council to make complaints and that.
Yeah, Karen's in the next room making more noise anyway.
Oh no, we've gone to levels I didn't know we had on this show. Dude.
Oh dear. Cal
knew
was
this was a
worried
bad
about me
idea.
coming on. He goes, I don't think this is a good idea, Mum. Do you know what they talk about? I went, yeah, I'm not fucking in
Cal,
it.
So
Where did you get this alpha male thing from, Roddy? I like
You're
it.
the
though.
big dog.
Keep rolling with it.
you're a dominant figure. You just strut in and you don't sort of speak to people. You're like one of the
And
because I know lots of fucking Islander boys, and you know some dudes like I work with. We don't know each other's names. We just did the eyebrow raise and we see each other. Hey, bro, how are you, bro? Yeah,
I think
that's like you when you come to Mitchie training.
he's an opposing figure. He like tries to show dominance wherever he goes. He like go to the Newmarket Hotel and just fight bouncers and stuff like that, just like to prove his dominance over the world.
Against the
Does he
biggest
really?
bloke, too.
Ah,
Does he get his,
he's the big
biggest
dog.
bloke.
You do.
Quietest kid around. Like
Yeah.
he's the most like chill dude. His brother.
Oh, until he has
Him.
4 beers.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets a bit lippy, don't you, Cal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get lippy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dane almost got me in the biggest touch-up I would have ever had in Roma one day.
Yeah, because
We're
there's no
out there for
violence.
the fruit bats.
There's no violence
Definitely
ever in
wasn't me.
Roma. Looks like a friendly town.
We're trying to walk home. This bloke's picking on Dane. I'm like, no, just calm down, mate. All right. And he grabs me by the shirt and goes, you getting lippy, are you? I'm like, holy fuck, no. I'll sit down, mate. I'll do whatever you want.
So Dane kept talking.
Yeah. I'm like, Dane, fuck off. Let's get out
This
of here.
story's tainted. There's holes in this story everywhere. It's all Cal. Anyway, anyone watching any footy this week? We're talking a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen, what's your team anyway?
Yeah.
What's my team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you go for?
NRL team.
Besides,
Cowboys,
Oh,
sadly.
yeah.
Converted her.
Do you notice I went Cowboys?
Yeah.
Oh, it's same as ours.
You're above us. We're the Bronx. So. And
Oh,
Manly
well.
aren't going to crash it either. Everyone
No,
here's
it
a
was just-
failure. So.
yeah, disappointing on the weekend. But when you're playing patched up, as other sides do, you're playing with ticker for so long, and you have an off night. When you have that off night, you can get exposed. Like there's a couple of things like they were just getting rolled through the fucking middle that was killing you. Then the edges, the wingers were making some fucking mud decisions. Never shoot in. All right, Cal. If you ever see a winger shoot in, he
played
deserves
wing
a
once.
spray. You're in
And
the
Freddie, if you ever see the winger shoot in, don't throw the long ball. Just pull short or hold
No,
on.
it was the half-baked intercepts going.
Yeah, but
through
he
the-
was defending on the wing because that's where he kept coming outside in on
no,
Cal
he
from.
came from the inside.
so it was the half that took the intercept.
Yeah, it was a half.
That was the guy that had been getting schooled, and then he thought revenge is coming.
Well, he had his tail up because Cal came on and just pulled his confidence back to the sky.
That was good,
He
yeah.
came on and jammed that
No one else ran
tubby
straight
back
at
row
him.
4 times.
Yeah, and he just pumped you. One thing was seeing Sammy Carson back playing was awesome.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him for a while. Last
Who's he
time,
playing?
like,
Yeah, he played on the
went
weekend.
Oh, I
well,
didn't think he
went
played.
good too. It was like Freddie was going, watch the offload,
I was
watch
just-
the
and that's
offload.
all he did.
Yeah, and then everyone, watched him offload.
Yeah.
Said, hey, good offload, bro. It's-
Oh, they did
and
take
they'd
it.
always have support. That's one thing with sides like in sides like the Natives, some of them Islander sides. Everyone, when they get in that role, everyone's on the push. Like, and it's one thing
They
we
get
got
their tails up pretty
we
quickly.
got no excuse not to do that at Mitchie because we're decently fit. Bloke should be on the sniff all the time. Pringle was tearing them up in the
Definitely
middle.
on the sniff.
Yeah.
Pringle was tearing them up in the middle. Like he was creating a lot, and we didn't go.
Yeah, we needed someone up Pringle's ass. The amount of times that bloke came
Yeah.
out of hooker
And
and
look
made
at him.
space. And
He doesn't
was left by
exactly. Yeah,
himself.
Pringle ain't exactly doing a lot of his own training unless it's at an all-you-can-eat buffet or a countery down the local.
Yeah.
And he was slaying it.
Oh, I swear but you're supposed to be there at 1:45 for a 3:00 kickoff or whatever.
Time's
I
not
swear
his friend.
he waits in the car park drinking stubbies until fucking
Long necks.
22. Yeah,
Long
long neck
necks.
till 22.
Old school.
Rolls in 3/4 pissed, puts
With
his
his
kid
Woolies
on,
bag.
puts his kid on. His gut hangs out the bottom of his jersey a bit, and then he goes out and rips sides apart. I don't
You'd
fucking
look at
get
him
it.
and you
It's
think,
ridiculous.
who's this chunky looking?
Yeah,
shit?
exactly. You're like, this bloke's got 5 minutes in him. Then
Well,
he gives you
in-
50 quality minutes. of
when
hooker.
he's fit, he's a Queensland Cup hooker.
He's
Yeah, he was on the fringe of
That's a
Cup at the Jets. He was named to play in a trial start.
Yeah,
He just decided not to turn up.
yeah. Well, me and Dana were talking about this before, and we think when Cal drops back to our side, we think Cal should start hooker,
And
then
Pringle
comes on,
and you could use Cal
or
maybe.
Cal starts lock and then goes into hooker when Pringle needs a break.
You could
Because
if
you need him out
if
on the
you
field for
pace
70
that,
minutes.
you could play him more minutes if you just miss the first 15
Yeah.
and then go give us a big chunk
Because then
And
you get
then-
the halftime break to break up his minutes
Yeah.
too. You get
and
10
then you
minute
get
break
it, and
in
then
halftime.
you get a closer, the old closer down there to come on and finish the game off.
But yeah, going through these NRL games on the weekend. So we had the Eels 14-0
All-
over the
I
Storm.
know.
That was
Yeah.
All those top sides really asserting their dominance.
Mm.
Like like
There's a big gap now.
South look good, but as good as they were, Manly were horrible. And that's I'm still not sold on them. But the Sharks have they really struggle with that Penrith attack. Penrith just sort of score too many.
South, Rabbitohs, it wasn't too bad, only 56-16.
Yeah.
Great to see Albany Creek's star player up there on the screen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Look
they've
at
got another big signing too. His name's Mitchell Paisley.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Actually,
god! Is that he is the biggest
Karen, do you know who pays
flog?
No.
We could use that big goon.
He's
now.
been on this a few times.
who's
Oh,
worse,
Yeah.
Voorhees or Paisley?
Oh,
Oh, Sam's worse. He painful.
that's
Mitchell.
that-
I love them both.
that's like
but
a
Sam's
51-49 split.
Yeah.
Voorhees
He
the
got
51,
hit in the head tonight.
Oh,
So Sammy, yeah,
Oh,
so,
he's-
yeah.
so he's
His
out
message-
season, but he'll be
No,
back
no,
Wednesday.
Yeah, so I said to him, well, mate, do you want me to? He goes, I said, well, how are you? Yeah, I'm all good. I said, well, you're right to go back. He goes, oh, no, I don't really want to.
Throw him under the bus.
I have to make up some excuse for another
Oh, you're
injury.
listening, Trig.
Hey, Sammy. Hey, Sammy.
He wouldn't listen, and even if he did, he just rags on the show, but listens to it in private anyway.
He was trying to say what a success it was last week. He got a lot of good feedback. It was the lowest rating fucking episode ever.
He asked me, he said to me, did you watch my show last week? I said, oh,
He made
no,
one
I haven't
joke.
watched it yet.
He made
Well,
one joke
And
and
I
he thought
looked
he
at his shit. He didn't share it.
Well, he fills his boots all week, talks the most shit ever. He gets on here and did a Cal, just muted
so
himself.
Karen, after this
Hit the
episode,
mute button.
we expect you to share this on your fucking
I'm
Twitter,
off
on your Instagram,
Right.
on your Tinder.
I
My
don't
Omegle, all
Tinder.
the shit. Omegle, whatever you got.
renew your Bumble account, which I don't even is a fucking thing. You joined up
Pretty
with the
sure
wrong
it is.
things. You kept going, I come on here to meet chicks. What's all these footy videos? Fuck me, Dad.
What's that one for married people's? Ashley Madison, I think. Yeah, share it on that.
Okay. My sister's. I
Go on,
told my
what-
sister because she watched his, and I told my sister. I said, "Oh, guess what? I'm going to be on that podcast."
That famous
So
mob.
she's like, "Oh, make sure you tell me when it is and that." But just remember, she said, "Don't swear too much."
Oh, yeah.
I went,
Don't-
"Yeah, okay." She goes, "Remember, I know the boys will be swearing. You've got to be careful
Yeah, rein it
because
in,
when I
rein it
start swearing, I swear." So-
Better
Well,
get back
just
to
get
this
into
footy.
it, Karen.
Well, it's not like Wests are going to sack you. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so your job as a nurse is quite safe. And your job at West, because you work cheap, and trust me, they don't like paying a lot of dudes, I hear. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, exactly.
that
And
was-
we love an injury over at West.
Yeah,
anywhere
so-
anywhere in the Reigns. At
I think
West,
you're quite
there's plenty of
safe.
injuries going
And you
on,
also
so-
cover Cal because he's already said about 30 more words than he did the last time he was on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
See, I encourage him.
Yeah.
what
Had
was
a few
you?
beers
Okay,
before.
now let's get
Straight in
to
the
some.
car park
Let's get
after
to something
training.
serious here. Okay, first date with the missus, Cal. You're not a big chatter, so what? How did you crack the funnies, keep it all going? So she thought, ooh, he's a bit of all right. Let's do this again sometime. Where'd you go? Where was the date? The first date?
We went and
back
watched
when people could go out.
Finding Nemo.
Oh, that's...
Nah, not Finding Nemo. The other one. The second one.
Finding
Finding
Nemo.
Dory.
Dory. That's the
Oh,
one.
yeah, Finding Nemo
Yeah,
2.
yeah, that
That's
one.
tough.
Finding Dory.
So he took you to the movies.
Not as good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do the old?
What the fuck?
No, he meant recline your seat. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
recline my
Get
seat.
your head out of the bloody...
Yeah.
Wow, what a signal.
Usually when you take girls to the movies, it's so you can
Went
finger
to-
them.
Or to watch a movie.
15.
Did you get, so where was the second date then? Obviously that went
I
well.
know she stayed
Probably
the
wasn't
night, so
one.
it went
It
well.
was Finding
Oh,
Dory.
stayed the night.
It was-
What about you? You
Must
must
have
have some
went
game
well.
at the old
It went
cinema.
well 'cause she
Yeah.
stayed the night.
You
No,
must-
it's a genius move, especially when you're almost as mute as Cal. You don't have to talk in a cinema. It's frowned upon. So you take her there, and if you say a word, you're a fuckwit. And if you don't say a word, you're
Just
still a
offer her the
fuckwit.
old.
The next
fine.
date was a silent disco. And then the one after that was like a fucking just a play. That
The
they-
fireworks
yeah,
show.
yeah.
You couldn't hear shit anyway.
Bree talks enough for both of you. So.
Then he went.
Yeah,
then, he,
basically.
then he went scuba diving and then snorkeling, skydiving.
And then him and Max Gill went on some sort of mime contest.
He's like, I've known this bloke for 12 months and I haven't heard him speak yet. What's the go here?
No, Max Gill.
No, you.
So, Cal, so
Boy, listen.
you took her home after the first date,
Yeah.
yeah?
Well, you must
He
have
took
gone
her
all
home
right.
after the
Yeah.
first day.
How long's it been going for? You
Do you
must
ice
have
the
gone all
cake or
right.
what?
then.
Long enough.
Oh,
So,
you must
4
have gone
years?
all right. Yeah, so you must have put in pretty good performance early. Good on you, Cobber.
And Karen, you like her?
Yeah.
approve?
Bree's good.
Yeah.
She's all right. It's good value. I
Yeah.
like Bree, so yeah.
And you get on good with her family, Cal?
Yeah, pretty good. I don't say much over there either.
I hope they listen to this show.
Yeah, they do.
Probably, maybe. See what happens.
I like it. That's good.
We'll just get Uzi to share
listen,
it out and they'll all listen to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
everyone-
Uzi's trying to crack onto her 17-year-old
What
sister.
is that about that brother-in-law? Is
Yeah.
that the brother-in-law?
That's the brother-in-law
joke?
Yeah,
joke.
it's the
He's
in-
showing
I
us.
was
That's the
trying to
in-law
work
joke.
that one out.
'Cause
Okay, nice.
Her
I thought
sister
Uzi was
Alana
gonna crack
came
on
to
her.
her sister Alana came to Mitchie last year, and Uzi saw him just all over from the get-go.
Shit, you should try to
What a
stack 'em up.
creeper.
Yeah.
That was when she was 16.
Well, okay, maybe tone that a little, Ooze. Well,
Oh,
So
God.
Karen, before I forget about it, our sponsor, Steel Wretchless, he helps us out with base lager, and I tell him we're having our first mum on the show, Karen,
Good.
and he was like, he goes, that's a good idea, mate. He goes, I want to know like from your perspective about what
Perspective.
Yeah.
perspective.
This is expensive.
I got it.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Shit at rugby league, good at vocabulary. But
No.
but
you've just been corrected by a mime.
but like where you think like with the state of the NRL at the moment
Oh, yeah, nice.
and the like where from going from like your levels like your BRL to your Queensland Cup to your NRL, where do you think that is, and it's fitting in with how we're doing compared to other codes and stuff, and how if your side's enjoying it, like your side, like women, like enjoying it as much, and being involved in the game like at grassroots, and then also being such a big fan, how do you think we're faring?
Could you thought of any more questions on that? Like you've just
Well,
covered.
the
I was
question?
trying to think of it, yeah.
But good. But
You worded
very
it
good.
horribly. What's your thought on the state of the game at the moment?
Across all levels. Yep, sweet. We've done it.
The three of us got there. Well done.
Nice.
Now there's tough questions. I think we need a lot more. We need to do a lot more from that BRL to Q Cup. There's too bigger.
Jump.
There
Yeah.
we go.
And then
Okay.
from Q Cup to
NRL
I
is-
think
yeah, it's
there's
a
big
massive jump.
And so you got your BRL boys. Well, the Q Cup boys are dropping down to BRL, and then there's just that big. I think it's a big jump.
There's a difference between being a fringe cup player
Yeah.
and being a regular cup player. Like when you see Mola West drop down, he's a cup player. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he would have been playing cup at Mackay. If
And he
ever-
stands
yeah.
out in
Oh, yeah.
BRL because he is a cup
Dominant
quality
beast.
player.
Yeah.
Butterfield.
Yeah.
Experienced cup player who's
Oh, yeah.
played some international, played Queensland residents. He dominates the game. Foycer, big Foyce.
Yeah.
When Foyce is on,
Boys.
I love Foyce. He plays. He's not a structured footballer. He got
Yeah.
offload in him. He's played his fair share of cup and that, and you can tell with that experience.
Yeah.
Foycer about 9 years ago was having a run around at D-Bay Juniors playing open twos now and then, and then he contacted the big guy.
I think I was
Like, how would
playing
it be like, that sort of
about
right?
9 years ago.
And then Trigg talked him into having a proper crack again at East. I remember when Trigg was coaching at East, they drew with the Blackhawks 40-all one day. Foyster scores the try, scored the first try, and Downey scored the try to lock it up at 40-all.
That sounds like
was
a mud game, 40 all.
Unreal.
It
It
sounds
was.
like what are the Toyota Cup, whatever it used to be?
Yeah.
It used to be like every
Always.
week it was like 42-40
Yeah, it was
victory.
terrible.
Oh.
Well,
I think there was about 7 tackles made all game, but like 50 tries.
Well, they went to the grand final that year, the Blackhawks, and they had that side that the Jets beat with Costigan and that in it. They were cracking at Beasley up front, Anthony Mitchell at hooker. They were and East went with them, 40-all. They just I don't know if they underestimated them, but 40-all's a fair effort. It's funny too. Like you can be in that squad, that fringe squad, and are never going to get a gig.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like somewhere like East, where
Cal.
Cal always gets a gig because he sticks around. It's like Cal, you remind me of.
I just wait for everyone to drop like flies, and then I just
Yeah,
swoop
that's
in.
what-
Cal,
yeah.
Cal,
Get 10 minutes
have
here
you
and
played
there.
Cup?
Get rid of all the injuries.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Not Cup yet.
Were you close to BRL at any stage? Like when you
I played
You played
that first year in 2016 when I was there. I played like 3 games.
That's
For a
fair
total
enough.
of probably 25 minutes.
That's fair enough too. And you've
Got paid twice. That was pretty good.
That's excellent, mate. So you're going to send an invoice for that? Other match payments? Or what? See, things like that. Like, I remember when that first year West kicked off, and they had a lot of blokes come far and wide. And it took some boys, like Dom was a good player, but he had some shit offloads and things like that. And you can see,
And he's got a shit head too.
and as Dom has been coached at higher levels and he's worked on his game and that, now Dom's an actual fringe cup player, and you can see that like when he's healthy and like and those sort of things. Like you can see some blokes just aren't going to, and that's like any squad. There's NRL squads, there's blokes that are never going to get a gig. I just think that you got to somehow close that gap. Pete Luckman puts up this thing about before on I think it was on my page about should they, we don't have reserve grade anymore. But if you had an official reserve grade, it would dilute the product of New South Wales and Queensland Cup. It's sending blokes there that is a reserve grade, because if you had two separate competitions like they used to in the 90s and that, it's just there's going to be some strugglers. There's going to be some sides getting towed up. And budgets of NRL clubs don't budget too much anymore. That's why everyone got a feeder, so they've got to pay less than having to field their own.
Field a second side.
Yeah, to go through.
Yeah.
It's obviously cheaper. Like the Broncos, since 2008, they started sending blokes to about 5 clubs. They haven't had after Aspley. After they went with Aspley for 1 year after being at Toowoomba, and even in even in New South Wales Cup, it's only sides like Penrith and that, Para, Brush and Wentworthville going to have their own. All these clubs that have money of big funding at league clubs have their own reserve grade.
In saying that, but yeah, if you had that second tier, the reserve grade comp, there is grounds to make more profit out of that as well, like televising games, putting them back to back. The Bronx play on a Friday afternoon in Brisbane. You put the reserve grade in front of them, and you try and up the revenue. Some obviously it's not going to be enough.
You could do that with Cup, mate. If they did their programming better, like have North play Wynnum.
Yeah, but we're talking about closing the gap. So having the reserve grade comp is going to close the gap. So you got the fringe NRL players and the top grade Cup players in that comp, and then the Cup players and the fringe Cup players and BRL players in that comp, and then BRL.
But you look at it, it's like in that Ipswich comp, Brothers pay more than the Jets do. I had a mate who played, who was playing there for years, Cole Holcomb. Yeah. He said he went and played 1 year in the Ipswich comp. He played for North, and he made more in the first 3 months than he had in 5 years at the Jets, when they had an actual Fogs team. The thing is, someone like Redcliffe, who are going to be linked with the Warriors, they're going to have a lot more money to get your matches. So if you're getting on and you think, I could go there, I could go play reserve grade there, and I'm not going to ever make it, and get a run in the NRL, or it can go to Reddy and get paid like fucking handsomely, or the Blackhawks. I remember when the Blackhawks used to, when the Cowboys had the young guns, and they won it. Like the year they won it, Milesy played in it, and they had this cracking side, and they beat Burleigh by 30, and Burleigh were good.
Do they have like a salary cap in Q Cup or anything, or they just?
That's interesting. They used to have a point system in some grades where
I
know they do now. I know they do
the
now.
girls, weren't they?
Yeah, where if you've played certain rep stuff or you've played, say, like
points.
And that's how they used to balance it.
So players are rated on point systems.
Yeah, so if you had one of these big leagues clubs who was all shitloads of sponsors and go, we're going to go buy old mate here. But in that President's Cup comp in New South Wales at the moment, there's plenty of ex-NRL guys running around in it on the weekend. Bureau's playing in the comp below it for Belrose. That's just like the equivalent of
that's what Bureau is now.
Just he's back living in Sydney, and he's just they're paying him to play at Belrose that are like, what would that be? The equivalent of playing the reserves.
Yeah.
Not much higher than we're playing.
Jamie Bureau made a career of putting himself on highlights packages, being on the receiving end of the big hits. He was like the Cal Stewart of the NRL.
Yeah, but he also made his career about being a utility, didn't he?
He was a good footballer, but
like
every single highlights video you'll ever watch, there's at least 3 or 4 clips of Jamie Bureau getting absolutely
Callum
fingered.
based his game off.
Yeah.
He's
Ultimate utility
player.
gets sat every time you run the pill, but not a bad footballer at all.
Well, you could make a highlights reel of blokes Steve Maddai killed.
Yeah.
What's his face from East? Tyrrell. That's the only one ever
Dave
remembers him
Tyrrell,
after
yeah.
that outside in
Because-
shot he put on.
And didn't he fucking hit him? Jesus.
And that's a front rower. I remember.
Tyrrell's
I remember
still
watching
picking
him
mud out
once,
his teeth.
and they played para, and he banged Kalis, and Eric Growth Jr. took the first one, and he banged Growth after that. And I'm going, who the fuck would run at him? You,
Yeah, that's.
you know.
Cal comes off the bench, goes,
I
who
picked
am I
the
going to
biggest
spot
bloke.
out? We'll spot that kid who can hit everyone.
I'll tell you a story about Gaddy, your mate Gaddy.
He used to
He's a
kill
shoulder.
kids.
He's a shoulder charge merchant.
Man, that kid.
He was a shoulder charge merchant, and this was after it was illegal. So one of our mates, Adrian Harchie was an army guy, skinny, tough ass, heaps of tattoos. He was a winger, centre. He used to run at him and get folded every time, like just get killed. And then me and Jakey Dornan were defending on the same side with Harchie, and Snakes and me looking at each other, and Snakes going, "That's why you don't run at him." And I was marking up on him. I was thinking, "You think I've got to this many games being fucking stupid? I'm not running at that." Look, I'm running.
Yeah, he is one person I would not run at in my life.
That's what Callum
Like,
said
oh.
yesterday. He goes, "Oh fuck, I hope Gaddy's not playing on Saturday."
Everyone,
'Cause he
first
was
thing
just
they
like,
are,
"Oh,
the
I
first
hope
thing
he's
blokes
not
were asking me, like my
But
mates
we
coming down to
fucking-
watch, was he playing?
Gaddy,
But we target him.
All you want to do
Yeah.
is be on Gaddy's side. You don't want to be.
Yeah.
Running
Like-
at him.
He could put
question-
his shot, mate. That bloke should have been playing somewhere. I've seen
Yeah,
him
he should've.
dominate
You know,
games.
He had
You
about
knew
3
had
cracks.
3
Yeah.
cracks at kick.
Well,
He was
yeah.
3
Yeah.
contracted. to
Where
3
was it?
different
Cows, Knights, yeah, and
Yeah. And Broncos. Broncos originally. Then he went to the Knights, I think.
No, he was at the Cowboys and played
Cows, yeah,
And then
thingy
Knights.
there.
yeah.
He played in the grand final, I think, in
Yeah.
the whatever
20s.
grand final. The Cowboys
And
win
they
it.
had let him kick, they would have won.
Oh, when
Yeah,
when
remember
Felt
that.
missed the
They
kick,
had,
yeah,
they had a kick to
Yeah.
win it, and they missed it.
He
Yeah,
should,
yeah.
He should kick. So.
yeah. And the Warriors were in 3 grade, and they had about 50,000 people there,
Yeah.
and then we knocked them off in 1st grade, and I was on Glenn Stewart for Churchill medal.
Yeah.
Geez, didn't drink much that night. That was a quiet one, that one.
I got a question for you, Karen. Being involved in like the, obviously looking after the players and that, some of the injuries, most common injuries you see, and some of the grossest ones you've seen.
Oh.
I didn't actually get to see it, unfortunately, because I was hungover after my eldest son's 21st. But it was a compound fracture at Brothers. Callum was playing. So I never got to actually see that, thank God, because I probably would have
Didn't you tell me you revived Mindsy?
Oh, yeah, I did. So
Yeah, Jeff
I was-
Mindsy,
Mindsy, the ref.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a heart attack
We're
at
doing
Brothers.
his kitchen at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's one of
He's a
the
good bloke.
worst referees you will ever see
He
ever.
was, he was clinically dead.
He's a good bloke.
So, do you want
Yeah,
the
they reckon
story?
he's a good
Do you want
lawyer.
the
Yeah,
story?
tell us the story for
All
sure.
right. So that day I wasn't doing first aid. I was just watching the boys, and both boys were playing, so it was pretty cool watching both my boys. And Callum had got concussed. It was half time, and I was about to go over and
What,
say
by
to
the
him,
corner post?
Yeah.
and so I was
There's a
about to
strong
say,
breeze,
make
headwind.
sure you don't go back on, and I got yelled at. They screamed at me. We were just sitting on the hill there at Brothers, Brothers were in the front of the clubhouse there. And they
Yep.
said, Karen,
That little patch
quick.
of grass where all the
Yeah.
syringes usually are.
Yeah. And they said, Karen, quick, we need you. And it was just in that room there near the canteen. And and Mindsy was on the ground. And he sort of looked like he was fitting. And I've said, what's happening?
So when they're
And-
fitting, you just leave them alone to fit?
yeah. And just keep them,
turn
them on their side and
Make sure they're
make sure
not
you've got an
banging
airway.
against anything.
And I said, what's happened? They said, we were standing there talking to him and he collapsed. And I'm looking at him and he's going blue. And I'm like, holy fuck, we've got to resuscitate him. And the young guy that was there, the sports trainer guy for the day, he said, what? CPR. And I went, yeah. He goes, oh, fuck. I said, yeah, come on. And so he didn't want to do mouth to mouth. And so I did mouth to mouth, and he was doing CPR, compressions, and I knew there was a defibrillator, so I yelled at someone to get that. And then one of the dads, the fiery guy, I can't remember his name.
Munro,
No, remember?
Lynchy,
How do you know the fiery guy?
It was a fire.
our brothers.
No, it was anyway.
Haven't
he's
I
a-
told you I've played over 100 games
Yeah.
there?
So he
You're
was
a gross,
anyway.
Roddy.
He was there. So the three of us just worked on him. We called Triple O.
My
and-
follow-up question to that
well,
is,
there's
Callum,
your
how do you
first-
feel that your mum made out with Mindsy?
Well, there's your first mistake. After the story he told about getting a start after the movies, give old soft lips Cal here fucking breathe the kiss of life into mines. He'd be up ref in the second half. I'm telling you, as good as he is, like he would have revived anybody with those soft little lips.
Meanwhile, we're out in the field already.
Yeah, so they
Like, where the fuck is this bloke?
Hurry up, you old prick, get out of here. He's blue in the living room.
And so we resuscitated him. Ambos came, got him. We defibbed him, like we shocked him.
Yeah.
And he went to my hospital because I work in intensive care at Prince Charles, and probably shouldn't tell people that, but anyway, we went there. So that night, next day, I was actually teaching. I was teaching first aid the next day, and I wasn't doing real flash because I was like, holy fuck, I can't believe I've just done that.
Yeah.
Like, not every day you're sitting there and all of a
Bit
sudden you have to
shaken up.
resuscitate. And anyway, so we've kept in touch, and he's
Lucky you did. Carl got some work
I can
out
tell
of it. Well done.
another yarn.
he's our
about Mum
solicitor,
reviving
so
someone.
He used to be the club lawyer at Mitchie. They reckon he was a good lawyer. Handled people's divorces.
he looked after
Yeah.
my brothers.
That'd be handy down at Mitchie,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'll bring it up, but
Yeah.
Mum can tell the rest of the story. Well, how old were we?
Rana.
I was probably about
You weren't very
10 or
old.
something.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have been that because I was at Albany Creek then. Probably about 8.
So was this
No, when? At
1963?
Nah,
64?
Arana.
Arana
We're down
Hills.
at Arana
Field
Hills
eight.
Field 2. You know where the fucking park is on
Yeah.
whatever
Don't
road
rule.
there.
Yeah,
And-
Forgot about that.
Elyria Street.
Yeah.
I think I was just waiting for my brother. Brother was training, and there was you can tell the story.
There was a lot of screaming coming from the park.
Normally a
One of
lot
the
of screaming
dads-
from the Sheilas around you, Cal. That's what they tell us.
So one of the
Just frothing.
dads came over and said, "Karen Cook, we need you. Someone's passing out or something." So I went, "Oh,
A
okay,
crackhead?
fucking off again." I go, "Yep, it was."
There's some fucking
So
loose units
I go
around
over
there.
there, and here's this woman fucking out of it, and her kids were in the park. No shit. And her and a mate had shot up
Oh,
Yeah.
kid.
in their car. And
wow.
so dragged her out, called Triple O, doing this, and I'm saying to them, what the fuck's she taken? And eventually they told me,
Was it
you
meth?
know, and I don't know, she'd shot up something. And because I'm saying to them, watch out, there's fucking syringes here, so just watch out. And so sort of resuscitated her a bit. And Ambo's got there, gave her a bit of Narcan, which is a drug to, you know, reverse.
Yeah.
And she woke up and was fucking pissed off and abusing all of us because we'd just ruined her high. And the fact that she wasn't breathing, but, you know, fuck that.
No, you
So-
wasted her $70,
That's
Karen.
exactly
fuck you.
right.
Pull your head in.
So, no shit, they got in the car and drove off.
Really?
Put the
So-
kids in and fucked
Yeah.
off.
4
Oh,
kids in the
good.
back.
That's
So, I just called the cops.
Yeah, 100%. And
And
Karen,
said,
do you know who her dealer was? On the
I don't know, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Freddie,
But,
get out your list
Do you
of
remember
people
her
you've
number
hung out
plate?
with.
But yeah, so that's yeah. I
Once
have some
again,
great
your
fun.
mistake was not letting old tender lips over here breathe the kiss of life into this woman.
So but I don't know. Otherwise, just injuries are your usual shit. You get your dislocations. Like
It's
the other
hard.
week, it was
Well, those
that
stories
was
you've
that-
just mentioned
the
would be
young boy
hard to
with the
top.
fracture.
You saved Minds's life and the crackheads.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Not
Oh, I might do
story-
his ACL. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
We just resuscitated mine.
Like, look, Callum,
He was still reffing after that
Yeah.
too.
Callum will tell you that, you know, if he has injuries, like, I'm a bit of a hard-ass bitch, and, you know, and I will say to him, you look after your injury. If you don't, I don't fucking want to hear about it.
I'm surprised you don't have Voorhey on speed dial.
Yeah.
Because he just rings me and tells me I'm no chance to play. And somehow in
Without any medical
and,
advice
and
whatsoever.
then somehow in 4 days,
He's
it's
good.
like he's borrowed
got a-
some of the healing potion from Freddie's mates at the Tibetan temple, and he's all good to go. Fucking by the weekend, and doesn't look like a hair out of
He's
place.
got a career-ending
And I'm
injury.
going,
and
come
next thing
Monday,
he's
gone, won't be able to play. I'm out.
I think he might have got bitten by the same spider that bit old Spider.
Spider-Man, the radioactive.
Because like all his
spider,
ligaments,
yeah.
he just like sprays some of his web and just repairs them and shit. You know, like
Man, he just
ACL. Psh,
Just
2 days later, he's good to go.
yeah, playing on Saturday, gone on Monday.
And then he sends
Sweet
us
Saturday.
like a Google Images photo of like someone in hospital,
Yeah.
like just a bare knee.
Yeah, well, when he did his elbow, he was out there and he's going to me, fucking hell, couldn't you see I was fucking hurt? And I'm like, yeah, I knew he'd hurt himself because he pulled out of defence, and I'm like,
Oh,
he never
that's-
pulls
She's
out
must
a
He
be-
doesn't have to
defence.
be hurt to do
Like
that.
pull
He
out
does it
the
I'm
defence.
like,
frequently.
this is unusual, and so I'm yelling at them to,
Stop.
guys,
That's
get
hard.
him off, and they
That's
didn't.
hardest part
So
is to
in
get
the
him to stop
end-
the game
and
now.
so I end up getting him off, and he had to have surgery, and
Oh,
it
well,
was
fair
pretty
enough.
bad.
So real injury, eh?
So like the usual, and then he's had a broken ankle. And the 98 broke his ankle. I said, I only took him to the Royal because I was like, oh fuck that, it's
At
probably just
Nunda.
a sprain.
We're
You
playing
do, I thought you meant
playing
the
at
pub
Wynnum.
at Nunda.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going, yeah.
No, he played at Wynnum, so I could have probably. Now I know better, and I'll take him to St Andrews because we've got.
Or the Waterloo,
And,
because
uh,
it's just like it's about 3
So
streets over
6
from
hours
that.
later, the dude next to him, that Callum goes, Mum, check out that. That dude's got his thumb in a bag. So the guy sitting next to us in emergency has just cut his fucking thumb off. So he's got his thumb in
I think it was
plastic.
like long weekend or something.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you
I think it was
didn't,
Full moon
Easter or
too,
something.
probably.
you didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't feel so bad then, eh? Like, seeing the dude with the
Holy fuck, Mum. That dude, it's a thumb.
To be fair, that's not far fetched. I'm pretty close to cutting this fucking thing. I can tell you that much.
Are you? So I was in a
Yeah, what's the
coach's
go?
hookup today. Are you a chance to play any games?
Yeah, I got my
Grand
next
final.
my next scans are tomorrow, so I go
Oh, yeah, okay. So
tomorrow.
yeah,
I'll find out when
Right.
it comes off. So probably a week or two.
hopefully get a couple of games, mate.
Might get maybe
Get 1 or 2.
Just on
Strap
that,
That's it.
that game I broke my ankle, that was when West had their Malmeninga team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
be good if they could get that back.
Yeah, that's
something
what I
to
was
develop
bringing up.
things like that. Like that's
Yeah.
what you need. Like to
Yeah, I
bring
know,
that-
like, because then it was good when we had that because then your juniors from, I hate to say it, Arana.
Well, you got used
But
to being
Arana,
pumped
West,
by
Mitchie,
60.
instead of fucking off to like North
Well,
or
used to be
Redcliffe
used to
or
be
something like that.
Centenary as well,
Yeah,
but now they're
Centenary.
under
Yeah.
the now the Hounds have saved them
Yeah.
in Graceville and pumped my cash in there.
Who gives a fuck? Centenary dog shit
You
anyway.
know, but
Because I think
Club,
to
shit
keep
place.
the kids in like the Western corridor, you need to get them when they're like probably like that 15, 16 age.
because
Because they're looking to play better footy if they're going right. So then they'll
they're
just
either
fuck
going
off.
to North or Ipswich.
Yeah, that's right.
You know
So-
what I mean, and try
Yeah.
out there. And you go into somewhere, one of those cup clubs, it's going to be a bit more professional than if you just like BRL and reserve grade, and you're leading into that. That's the thing about Trigg being a big draw card there.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
he articulates everything so well, and he's got such a good resume. When you got a name, it'll bring people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we get that Q Cup team, whether it happens or not, that'd be like a big thing, I reckon.
I'd
Oh,
say
it'd be
they
keeping the-
need a fuckload of money to get
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
They need to win a
When,
BRL fucking chip.
Need to do a lot of
first.
things. But
When
Win a
when
premiership.
West were playing before, when they were Western Districts and Trigg went to East, around that time, Tony Curry said it was costing them about 70 grand a year
For
to run
just
a
BRL.
to run a fog stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. The BRL equivalent.
With
yeah.
your boy Simo.
Yes, the one guy went to Mackay. Well, he's still living in Mackay, isn't he?
I'm not sure. I think he's still rocking that bleached mohawk thing that he does.
I caught up with Kitchie one night out, and he was on a Bucks, and some dude introduced himself and said how he knew Simo and that, and this bloke's, so this guy's talking it up for about 3 hours, like he was Gilmeister. Then he admits that then I said, what position did you play, man? And on the wing. After that, he became the target of ridicule, and every time I wanted to drink, oi, Gilmeister, sure, shout, let's go. Oi, better serve me mate over here before he tackles someone at the bar. Fucking. They're like, and
I
he was,
looked after Gilly's nephew once.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Who, Bryson?
No, not Bryson. He was a young kid. He got head injury. He fell out the back of a ute.
Oh,
And,
jeez.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah,
do it.
vegetable.
People
so it was
find-
back when Gilly was playing for Roosters.
I'll tell you
yeah,
what
the
Gilly
first
does
time.
now. He
Yeah.
plays up at the TAB on Roadie Road. You ever want to see
Just the
Gilmeister go
tab.
to Roadie meets? Because
Oh,
it's
really?
Just the tab.
there's no drinks there. It's just a TAB, and
Yeah.
if you drive past, he's always sitting
But
there.
there's
permanently.
not drinks in just
No, no.
straight TAB.
Yeah, no drinks. So
They
he's
don't
just,
have many
he's in there
just
on the
old
punt.
school TABs
Straight
anymore.
punt.
Yeah.
Never
There's
been
one
much
at
for a
Roadie
punt.
Road. There's one at the end
Yeah.
of Webster Road, and that's about it. There's not many.
They used to have one next to the brook, like the tab in there, and then
Yeah.
all these other dudes used to go in the middle there. When I don't punt much, I just go in there, have a beer, and have a drink. I used to go and have a beer with my mates who like to punt.
Karen, at the hospital, is
Yeah.
it ramping up again with the
Oh,
the
We're
way
in
that-
lockdown, so
Yeah.
got a phone call on Saturday at footy, and because I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And so no relatives are allowed to visit unless
Yeah.
they've got executive approval. So basically, if you're dying, they'll think
Yeah.
about letting people.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a text
and
message.
then we have to just sign in, sign out. Can only go through one
Yeah.
door.
I got a text message this afternoon because I got an appointment tomorrow at the Royal,
Yeah.
and they said, yeah, you have to come alone. You're not allowed there. You're not allowed in within 10 minutes at the start of your appointment. So you
Yeah.
just rock up
Yeah.
just before
Time it.
they let you in. You're told where to go, which lift to go in, blah, 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 and you go up, you get done, you come straight out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got that surgery on Wednesday, so
Well,
it'll be a bit different.
Is yours
Righto.
just day surgery, Freddie?
Yeah,
or you
just
know-
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Watson. Yeah.
Oh,
when-
what a-
He was
when I
due
went
today,
again,
so I
no.
don't know how he went because he goes,
Oh, yeah.
no. And I went, yeah, I hope, because, he needs his surgery. So, yeah, hopefully, I don't know what's going to happen, but shit, they are certainly no social distancing at the footy. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hey,
it.
there's
Right.
plenty of social
Yeah.
distancing going down on it, Mitchy. Don't you
No,
worry
not,
about
we weren't saying Mitchy was saying footy in
Oh,
general.
no, no,
Mitchy's
no,
was
no,
saying-
no,
Mitchy's
no,
was
I
saying-
mean
so-
when we were at Graceville at the
Yeah.
Hounds.
Oh,
Yeah, down at
I saw
fucking
everyone
dirty
getting
Graceville,
some of the
there wasn't anything
photos
going
of
on.
blokes getting changed
We
outside.
had to get changed,
Looks like you're playing school footy and you just
Yeah.
roll up and drop your bag, put your footy
Yeah.
gear
Yeah,
on
yeah,
and
the
go.
only
Yeah, we had
social-
to strap outside.
The only social
in the wind.
distancing is between our schools and the opposition schools.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not gonna-
Yeah,
I'd
or between
really
our
li-
A defender and the markers usually.
I'd really like it if crowds couldn't come to our games because the amount of people I saw after I plugged the game who came down on the weekend, hey, righty, good to see you. Hey, and I'm going, thanks for coming. And I looked at Jono and go, I wish people had come when we won, but not when we lost because I feel embarrassed now having to talk to everybody.
They watched some great natives football covers up.
Yeah, that was good.
They
Like,
were deadly, them
Yeah,
fellas.
they're pretty good.
oh, their supporters were. There was one elder, one of the
Yeah.
elders, this big fella, and he was screaming some shit.
He
out.
wasn't big. He was fucking
I
Yeah,
saw
he
him
was.
on
And
the
then-
right
and
side.
then
eh?
I was talking to someone in the car park when he's going out, and he come up. I was thinking, oh fuck, he's getting it. And he just shook hands, hey brother. I
Probably
think,
Daddy's
good
dad.
game.
Oh no, he
And
wasn't
I
there.
was
That's
going-
right.
And there was a dude upstairs playing up, like, because
Yeah.
he was banging on the shutters, and they had to tell
Yeah.
him not to. Yeah, well, if you fuck the shutters, they're not cheap. So every time they scored, which happened to be every time we scored, they'd score, and then he was doing like the victory lap of the place.
All right, we're
Then
gonna,
later that night, there were other dudes doing a victory lap for other reasons around the joint. So
we're gonna get into questions.
yeah, we better.
go for it, man.
All
You,
right, mate. So
you're the voice.
The first one is your better half, righty. She goes.
Jane.
Yeah.
I was wondering who the fuck you meant. I was going, I ain't got no. I'm like, Cal, I haven't been on one of them accounts he was on for a long time, man. Like,
So she goes. That picture made my mouth vomit. Also, aren't they?
oh,
Track-
Katoni Stag sucking the
Yeah.
toes.
I'm
Yeah.
like, who's that? And he goes, Tony Stagg. I'm like, I am so fucking behind.
Someone
the times.
sent me that, and at first I was going, I sort of skimmed it on my phone. I was jumping in the car after we were, what the fuck's this? Is this some sort of, and then, oh, hang on, what the fuck's he got in his mouth? Oh, it's a foot.
I said,
Yeah.
is that Jake Morris?
Oh,
they were
Jake.
just like, no.
Poor Jakey.
Because he's
I touched
Oh,
base
no.
with.
poor
Jakey's
boy.
got a slug on him too.
Shout out to
yeah.
Jake Morris.
Yeah, poor
I,
guy.
I touched base
yeah,
with him.
true.
His Wednesday is his
Yeah.
gets scans.
Yeah, Jakey
You
full
think-
devastated.
He said, yeah,
as
and
you
it
would
did.
be.
Yeah,
It's like, did you see
Not
Blake
good to
Green
see.
do his knee yesterday?
Yeah, that
Same
wasn't
sort
pretty.
of thing. Like, it wasn't really where you saw it in the when they show on the replay. It didn't look horrific, but it was. It was similar, like to Morris. Morris's wasn't a brutal tackle like that time you got him fed, and when he fucked his shoulder, like he just. And I
A
was
mere
hoping,
fortnight ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Take your memory back.
Oh,
I was hoping to be all right. Then you got Voorhees standing over him going, that's ACL, that's ACL. And I looked at Hooper and go, how bad? And Hooper looks at me and just goes, ACL.
The ACL is one of the things in the human body that it doesn't make sense how fragile it is.
Yeah.
You know, we've got that one stability down the middle, and it's so easy to go, and it can go at any moment. Some people do it just like
Yep.
misstepping down like a step. you
Yeah,
know,
people
and
do
then
it in
the
work
ACLs
situations,
yeah.
like just
Yeah.
turning wrong, twisting.
It's one thing
Just-
that you know, but we gotta
So common, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you like.
yeah.
you think about it,
Evolution.
you-
We've really
it
got to
should
try
be
to knuckle
strengthened.
down and sort this out. You know.
Just doesn't make
Get
sense.
Yeah.
better.
Maybe when
Maybe
they're
we get
first
on-
born, you got to inject it
Yeah.
with some bloody
Yeah,
drugs.
with
and-
Freedy's drugs.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I say.
that's
We
right.
get Freedy. You and your people can come up with the super serum, and we
Boys.
just suck.
Yeah.
You and
James-
yours.
Boys and girls,
New
I'm
world
clean at the
order.
moment. I'm
Dude,
trying to produce
clean at the
more
moment.
humans
There is.
with extreme ACLs. So
Dude,
He's got to have surgery on Wednesday. He's got to
You, you look at how
I
things
tell
are
my
progressing.
missus, if we do anal, it produces really good ACLs.
Yeah.
So what? She put a strap on and gave you a pound and did she come
Is that what you've been doing wrong? Aren't you trying to have another baby or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You
All
take
right.
and it's not going to work.
But it sucks
I'm
because-
telling you,
because I
this
told-
gets you pregnant.
But the first thing was I told her the vaccine for coronavirus was anal, and so it kind of went the worst way.
So what you need to do is get Soft Lips to send you an email about some of the game he used to start him off. This is the guy.
Take her to
Soft
the
Lips.
movies. Come on.
Yes.
Watch Dory.
Then,
Just give her that old
then
finger
just
banger.
think what
Your
what
fingers
would
are already
Cal
like
do?
permanently in
I know-
spot.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like that. It's like it's
God.
primed
stuck.
and
It-
ready to go.
And it even doesn't matter how much you squirm, she can't go anywhere because
Yeah, I
it
know.
physically can't move. It's
Yeah,
great.
just-
You're
the,
in massive trouble.
the old fish hook. Where the fuck
Who?
are you going? Just drag her home back.
How long before you're going to be your hand's going to be
Mature? I
right?
don't know.
Not mature.
Yeah, I was
no,
going to say
never.
grow up. Yeah.
How long before your hand will be right after
I
the
don't,
surgery?
I don't know, mate. I think it's
Are they going to put a pin in him? Like leave a pin?
No, so what he's going to do is he's going to
So they refuse the ligaments?
No, the two side ligaments that are intact still. So I think he kind of described that they bring him around and then kind of form a front one as well.
Mm.
So they use some of that and they bring it around, form the front one, so I can actually do that again. Yeah. Otherwise, a lot of footy boys you see, they leave it too long and then they just get it cut off at the
Yeah,
knuckle.
Daniel Chick from Hawthorn did that. He kept dislocating, so he just had to lop it off.
Yeah.
On the guys.
I'll say it could benefit, just one in the pink and that little nub in the stink.
nice.
But yeah.
That's good. Are you going to still come and shower with everyone every Saturday? Just
He's
feel
allowed
it
to
home.
Great to see Dane in
Yeah.
the shower on the weekend.
COVID.
Yeah, well, I
Anyone get a
bought
video of
me
that?
plastic bag.
Yeah.
he
now.
was
There you go.
he was going out in the town, so
That
I
was
had to
the
have the good
excuse for
club
the
on.
boys.
I
going
got
to-
stuck next to the
No.
kid on the weekend.
Yeah, how shitty is that?
Oh.
It's like one of the worst possible situations.
Hey, does
Especially
Keno always shower? I swear I've never seen him have
No,
that.
he
He had a
showered.
shower on the weekend.
Yeah, because he was staying for a while.
No, and I think
Oh.
because since he came on the podcast and we grilled him for not showering, so you're a stinky fuck. Have a shower. I think now he's grown up a little bit, and
Yeah.
actually showers with the boys.
But anyway, going back to Jane's question.
God, we
it goes.
sidetracked.
Aren't
Aren't they
We
tracking?
talked about the footy for like 2 seconds.
Aren't they tracking the
Overrated.
distributors of these
Photos.
libellus?
What?
It's libelous, libellus, of these and unauthorized portraits. I don't especially want to go to court.
Oh
with
yeah,
my-
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
She
try
means
saying-
about the Seabold thing. Like Seabold, she doesn't
Yeah,
want to
and-
get in
and-
trouble
and
because
people-
Seabold's tracking the
Yeah.
club's got someone tracking that,
And they're
And
tracking people who are sharing that photo, is what she's trying
yeah,
to say.
yeah, and they won't share that. That's all right.
So they're
libel.
saying-
Libel,
Yeah,
that's what she probably
libelous. Yes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you said.
libelous. And so you think Seabold is that is true about that offer about offering money?
I
and
reckon
him-
so.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well, one of the
On
board
the
members
news-
come out and said it's like a cancer. So
Yeah.
when
Well, that
blokes
was
on the
the main
board are
stakeholder.
telling you to come out, yeah, the main dude.
Yeah,
one
I
of
was
the main
watching the
guys.
news before I came here, and they said his management entered conversations with the Broncos this afternoon. He doesn't want to walk away for $1 million because there's $3.6 million left
Yeah.
on his deal or something. So they're saying they're trying to work out a deal, a renegotiated deal instead.
That's
of,
what it
instead of
would
more
be.
money
to
to
fuck
That's what it would be
Yeah.
because he would go if I stay.
He
if
can
I
put his foot
refuse
down
to-
and say, "I've got a contract.
Yeah.
for
You've
30
got to pay
years."
me out, and if you don't want me here, you've got to pay
Pay me out in
to
full.
just sit
Yeah.
around until I find another gig.
Well, he just
Yeah.
needs enough money to pay for all his legal fees in the future.
Well, he's never going to get another gig again. So
Aren't the
whatever his
Bronx paying
payout
for
now
him
is-
anyway at the moment or some shit?
Yeah.
they would.
Yeah, that was there. And there's talk
Wait
that
till
it
it's
was
all over.
actually
Let them pay
someone
for it.
connected to a club that
Yeah.
could be started it off.
Was it Uncle
And it-
Wayne? Might have been Uncle Wayne.
And this-
I don't think Uncle Wayne's a big internet person.
Yeah,
social
but I
media
think he's
guy.
one of his 20-year-old wives might be.
Yeah.
He might have connections to the Twitter
Yeah,
world somehow.
Uncle Wayne's more about cheating on your wife kind of person.
Yeah.
But Abe Little goes, continuing on with this question, he goes, who do all of you think is the next in line if Seabold gets sacked? If Paul Green
Yeah.
gets in,
I'll be filthy.
fucking nearly out. I'm fucking nearly out.
I wouldn't recommend him.
Well,
No.
Yeah.
if they
As
want
a Cowboys man,
Yeah.
no
As a
recommendation.
a club
man.
like that, it's proven you've got to get a big name coach.
Yeah.
You
Green-
can't send in.
Green came into the Cowboys at the exact
Yeah.
right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
JT's
Put him
still
from his ship.
firing.
and he did take them to a grand final when they had half a side. and everywhere he's gone,
I think
he's
Michael
had
Morgan
success.
took him to that grand
Yeah,
final.
Michael Morgan just carved up for about 5
He
games.
did, and
Yeah.
Ethan Lowe played great footy, and
Mm.
Tamalolo was killing. Like, I don't know, I can't really say
Green can
for Green
coach.
too much.
He was assistant coach to Robinson when they won
Yeah,
the
but
first
we
title in 20.
we also said Seabold could coach. He was coach of
No,
the year before he got to the Bronx.
I never said that.
Coach a
I
year
actually
11 high school side.
Let's
when
go
he's
back on
teaching.
that.
Do you reckon Bennett?
I never said he was a good coach. I actually questioned his attack because he had the same side that Maguire had done all the infrastructure, like with the attack they were using at South Sydney. And then people said, no, Siebes is good, Siebes is good. Siebes is good in the right setup. He can coach with the right blokes around him to play his football,
Yeah.
but he's not a flexible coach.
That's the same thing I was
yeah.
saying to my old girl this afternoon. She's just saying the same thing. She's like, oh,
How's she going?
maybe. Yeah, she's
Oh,
all right,
wow.
actually. She hasn't been asking about you at all. But
I need to get
Not many
resuscitation,
Sheilas do,
but the thing
really?
about my
Yeah,
mouth, it's
no.
located at my penis. But
She's coming on next week, isn't she?
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
wishes.
oh, that'd be sweet.
Oh.
She wouldn't be.
She can drive
I
it.
would ask her, and she'd say, "Fuck off, you and your filthy fucking mates in that little shitbox dungeon." There's no chance I'm going over there, especially with that creepy little midget cunt with the weird finger.
All right, we'll come
That
to your
does-
podcast studio, motherfucker, next week.
No, but she just had surgery on her mouth, so she won't be talking for a long time anyway. So,
Yeah,
so-
that's because she saw me last weekend.
Yeah.
bro.
Do you reckon Bennett's just sitting back with his 20-year-old smoking hot missus laughing at fucking
Well, look at
all
it.
this
He's in
shit going on,
Seabold's
or-
head, right? Every
Yeah.
press conference they'd have, Seabold, when they play each other, he goes out there, Uncle Wayne, goes, and his fucking Clint Eastwood move, drops a couple of little bombs around into the media,
He's so
knows
good.
how to play them. Then all of a sudden they're asking Seabold. Seabold's trying to be the smartest bloke in the room, and he's going, well, I didn't think we did that bad. And when you're making excuses, like, it affects everyone. Like, on the
Because
weekend,
they asked Seabold how his side went, and he starts doing algebra. The cunt.
yeah. And the thing
No
is, you're
idea.
trying to be the smartest bloke in the room. It doesn't work. When they asked Hasler the other night, he went and pointed out everything for 10 minutes what they did wrong. And as you do, you have to own things. When you start glossing over shit at that level, because when you go to a video review and you're getting fucking carved up, it's got to be embarrassing that you can't wait to play. Where with Seabold, it just seemed like there was another excuse. And I can understand you're missing your guns. But their big game plan is, let's go 3 to one side and we'll set it up to Fafita or to, again, Katoni. And that was the thing. Look at the other night. Fafita, every time we got the ball,
They had 4 or 5 on him every
Yeah.
single time.
and now he's gone. Tavita's off getting haircuts at the bikie joint over now the south side. I see him at Lutwidge and that though. He's at the butcher there in Lutwidge Shopper
Yeah.
Village. You know, just go. There's barbers there, man. You could have just gone to the barber at Lutwidge,
Yeah.
man. No one would have knocked on. You know,
They'd probably make him pay for
go
it.
to
Yeah.
because he
Pay
does
for
look
his
like he's
$20
struggling.
haircut.
He does look like he's struggling for cash.
Yeah, showing him for cash. That $650 wasn't enough for him.
Because if he was to
Flop.
go too, all your superstars that you build up are gone. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
the one thing is, you look at the Broncos roster, and they put a lot of importance into re-signing blokes like Tavita because of the potential and
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
could have done, blah, blah, blah. And they let blokes like Josh Maguire walk so they can find enough
And
money
well,
to give
look
it
at
to
him.
Pangai.
You
And
keep-
Josh Maguire goes up north, plays great footy. He was playing decent footy when he left.
Kills it at the
And-
cow. He's
and
been
he's-
the best.
he was
player for
mud the
Cowboys.
first
long as he
year
doesn't get
when he got
suspended, he's
done
good.
4 times for the gouge.
Yeah,
This year he
But
has
this
ripped
year,
shit
yeah,
up.
he's going good. See, can you picture him there and he leads the charge? And what did Fafita say to Tallis? What's your role? And then when Tallis goes, mate, if you want me to have a role and be involved with your career and mentor you a bit, I'll do it if you come. And then plus they give you fucking like 4 Triggs Woolies bags full of money, and then all of a sudden you go there and
Full of green ones,
and they've got old
Yeah.
Altino coming from Melbourne.
Yeah,
You've got 2 of the
SCSE from
best young
Newcastle.
forwards in the game coming through. You go and you find someone like who's just a good handy player. Like, say you found someone like a Joel Thompson, a younger version of Joel Thompson, and go, listen, we need someone to come for 2 or 3 years and mentor these boys, and we'll give you a decent amount, but we won't give you as much as what you could get somewhere else. And someone like that goes, oh, sweet, okay, I'm in.
That's what, yeah.
You can build off these things. Happens in the NFL all the time. They
You
recruit
need-
the right blokes.
You need a few blokes, but that are willing to pay like willing to
Jesus.
play for a bit of cut price.
Yeah.
Like, cause you can't have a roster that's everyone's demeaning to be paid top dollar. There has to be some blokes getting paid unders, just as the same as there's always going to be blokes getting paid
And
overs.
like at the Roosters, of course, Cordner and the big guns are on big money.
Exactly,
But
and then
Yeah.
blokes
Morris and that come
Yeah.
cheap because they want to play with them
exactly.
guys.
And Orbison stays there his whole career on fucking 300 grand or whatever he's on.
And look at poor Ponga. He's on chicken feed. Poor
Poor old
bastard.
Cameron Smith, he's been on chicken feed, hasn't he?
He's doing a real nice thing for the town by playing.
Cameron Smith's
But
not
look-
even in that top 100, is he?
And that's how they got Pearce. Nathan Brown said he goes, you'll be playing with he'll be the best fullback you'll ever play with in your career, which is a fair call considering he played
come
with
from-
Minnie
and
yeah.
two of us are
Yeah.
Shaq and fucking.
Yeah, I don't know the best, but this kid's potentially the best, and all of a sudden that starts to become an exciting proposition.
But that's why you have to go overs to get a few blokes and pay a lot of blokes a lot of
exactly,
money.
mate.
And then you say, come here, we got this for you to come to. You might get a bag of peanuts and a handful of bindies at the end of the week, but that's all we've got for you. And blokes will
argued
come.
this when Manly signed the Trebojevics for so much money. I said, right, you look at what they do when they're on, and they deliver. They're Manly juniors, so this is your connection to the local league. They don't get into trouble off the field. They go out in the piss and no one's getting arrested, things like that. Blokes will come to play with them.
And there's more
Daly
of them.
speaks.
There's a couple of younger ones coming through.
And Daly speaks for himself. Cherry's one of the elite halfbacks in the comp.
Never heard
so
of
you
him.
got to play that.
And same as Tapau. Tapau's another one.
Marty, look at Marty. Like
Give him money
Barrett
and
wanted to sheep him off, and I was going, and he was linked to the Roosters, and I was saying to people, why the fuck? He's on good money. Would you get rid of him for half the price to get the money, but get someone who's nowhere near as fucking good?
That's a Trent Barrett thing.
Yeah. And
Broncos
Tori,
just seem to I don't know. You get these great players and you just flick them,
Yeah.
and then you bring in these other ones and you just go,
And
they've done nothing for us.
I
Why
don't-
did you do that? Like,
Yeah, and I
I
don't
get
think
it.
there's a club in the NRL that produces wingers and centers like the Broncos do, and then we find them getting bought by someone
yeah,
else.
it's just it just seems to be that's what they do. They've done it so many times, and what's his name? Who's the hooker from Cowboys?
Jake Granville.
They had him.
Yeah.
They
He's
could
been
have
a
had
spud the
him.
last
Yeah.
few years.
Yeah,
but
I know.
he was
he
good
hasn't
for a
been
while
great.
there.
But
Yeah,
when
but he's been playing under
initially,
Green as well. So.
yeah. Well, they could have had
The Broncos
him.
let a lot of players go,
See
but
you
like
later.
there's a good list of Bronx players they let go without giving a real shot. Jai Arrow was a Bronx player,
Yeah.
played 16
that was
games
a
for the Bronx or
bad
something.
loss.
Yeah.
Jared
Arrow.
Wallace played for the
But
Bronx.
they seem
Next
to
year
do it
plays
constantly,
Origin.
and it just seems to
Yeah.
constantly happen. That's what they do.
Yeah,
and
that's
you think,
right.
why are you doing that?
And that's the thing is, like you're saying, Arrow would have been one of those older heads that these
Yeah.
18
Yeah.
and 19-year-olds
Played
could have
Origin,
played with.
But
fringe
then
Aussie side.
you look at it as well. That the argument is that the Broncos are such a big club with such a large feeder base that you can't obviously pick exactly right every time. You're going to get a few slip ups. So for every Jai Arrow we miss, a Payne Haas we get. Which in saying that, you sort of makes sense. But then you got to think, fuck me, surely people can look at Jai Arrow and what he was doing already for the Titans to then
Yeah.
give him $450 or whatever he got signed for
and
the
now
Titans
South's
and play
giving
cup.
him a truckload of cash to come,
Yeah.
and
Have
they would dumb the Titans for letting him letting it get to the stage where they can steal you.
Imagine the Titans re-signed Arrow, then got SESE for feeder Tino. That's a
And
great
that's a pretty
forward
good
pack
forward
already.
pack.
They
And that
just
all
gotta-
of a sudden blokes get interested in wanting to be there.
They just don't have the halfback, do they?
No, at the moment.
Nah,
they don't.
and that's the thing. Ash Taylor, unfortunately,
Has
is on a very free ride.
Yeah.
He's on old JobKeeper at the moment. Old Ash Taylor. Like,
Do
and
you reckon old ScoMo's fucking chipping into the Titans? They're like,
He signed.
He would have been
signed
gone.
Bobs and shit.
they fucking signed up for
Titans filling them out
JobKeeper.
for him.
you look at the
unlucky.
Sharks, perfect example. Some of those budget forwards they've got
Yeah.
are going real good. And
Hamlin
you've got to,
and blokes like that.
yeah, look at him. He's starting and killing it now.
Oh, isn't he
And
ever?
things like that. And you've got to bring these sort of guys in and take the gamble on. Melbourne are the masters at it. You always had your big four, and you just brought in your bit role players.
And that's why
to do
blokes.
your thing.
That's why blokes who leave Melbourne, like the forwards, like Melbourne produced all these great players. Kevin Proctor, when he was at Melbourne, was never on any more than 500. Goes elsewhere for more money, doesn't perform.
Blair.
Jordan McLean.
Blair went to the
Gillette,
Tigers
yeah.
and was a massive flop considering the player he was.
Same as Jordan McLean. He was killing at Melbourne. He's not playing bad at Cowboys, but he's nowhere near what he could
What
have
happened with Proctor's bite?
been. He got 4
Got
weeks.
done.
4 weeks. I was going to say, if they feel
That's
you've bitten
fucking
someone,
illegal.
you should get 10.
It's either you're guilty or you're not.
Well, you know
There's
what,
You
no- there's
reckon
no
he
middle.
chomped him?
100%.
I reckon he
100%.
mouthed him.
Oh man,
It's like when a dog mouths
he
you.
bit down.
No, dog.
No,
He's not
no,
biting.
I
He's just
reckon he had
mouthing.
his
No
arm
wonder
in.
you get starts
Whe-
first go with that sort
Whether,
of chat.
whether you
It's
chomped him or not, you still fucking get your biting motion.
And his arm in his mouth.
I think
Oh.
I said, yeah. I
Had a mouth guard in. How can you bite someone?
yeah, nah,
Someone
he
60.
bit down, man. Yeah.
Anyway, Tohu Harris is another one I just thought of from Melbourne. He was
Harris,
another
very
player
good player.
who was in a decent system, getting paid pennies, and then gets picked up somewhere else, and had a few rough years. Now Tohu Harris is killing it, only because he's found his straps. But most of the time, it doesn't work out that way. And Melbourne are the masters of noticing that we've got this player here, he's performing well, but he's not worth. We need these players staying on this much money so we can give our Cameron Smiths and our Monksters and that the money. Whereas the Broncos, we look at Tavita Pangai pays decent footy for a year, and then he demands more money, so we give him $650, and then we lose Maguire instead of saying, "Nah, champ."
And with
you're
the
worth
manager they had,
400 at the moment.
that
And then he goes
Moses,
and
he
Yeah,
has
he
the
fucks
club
off
over a
anyway.
barrel and fucks
Exactly right.
you know, and you got to think, do you want to leave and it fuck your career? I'm not saying Roger Tavasha-Sheck, it might not have fucked him, but can you picture him
If
in
he
that
was in
Roosters side somewhere,
if he
and
was
they
in an
wouldn't have bought
Australian
Tedesco,
club.
he wouldn't have been. He plays a different style of game to Tedesco, of course. But if he had stayed there, fuck, they wouldn't have needed to get Tedesco and still got Cronk and the other pieces.
If he
there.
was, if Tuivasa-Sheck was in an Australian club, he would be well higher renowned than what he is now. Like, he seems to sort of be a little bit out of sight, out of mind in New Zealand. He won the Dally M 2 years ago, for God's sake, and he's still not even renowned in the top three
they're
fullbacks
actually
of the
based
league.
in Australia now, man.
No, they are now,
Yeah.
but
They're playing at Redcliffe next year.
yeah, apparently.
Okay.
But
No, Sunshine Coast, Melbourne.
Any
Can
more
I-
questions?
Oh, fucking, there's 100 questions.
That was the longest
yeah,
one ever.
So anyway, I'm
Right,
going
we'll
to
skip-
I'm
we'll
going to
skip through
chuck
a few.
Righty a few questions. There's
Sure,
a few
bruh.
for him. I got to go piss out of my humongous cock. But so
Did you get something done since Saturday or what?
what do you mean?
Extension? Look, fucking. I thought you might have got the
no.
old penis pump like Austin Powers or something.
Everyone that talks their dick up means you got
Yeah,
a small
yeah.
dick. You just ask the boys to shower with me. But
Well, he never talks about
you've
his
had
dick,
you-
so it's probably true.
You're missing.
Karen, please don't come in at shower time.
That's-
You'll be
there all the
quite.
time.
You'll be
I never-
quite unimpressed.
I used to tell the boys all the time I'd be in the showers. I said, "Don't worry, boys. I've seen bigger and better lots."
I hope you wear undies in the shower at that time, Cal. That's one time to wear undies in the shower.
So I'm gonna throw you a few righties.
Sure, bro.
Okay, so from Mark Lewis.
Oh yeah, Mark Lewis. No,
he
mate.
goes, are you getting any, will you get the gig at the Bronx? If so, being a Manly supporter, will it affect your coaching style? So we got that one straight up. And then Oliver said...
About sculling a beer, not tonight.
Yeah.
No.
for his birthday, bro.
I'll do it for you.
No. All right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Cal's
nice.
Ollie Cal's going to do it for you.
Yep,
But so,
proxy.
and any calls from the Bronx?
No, not yet. But you always got to keep your options open.
That's right. And if they do offer you something, just remember, you got to keep. You don't take that first offer.
You always knock it back because your contract
The old
negotiation for
Fatty Vorton story.
Keenan worked out so well, dude.
You heard the old Fatty Vorton
Yeah.
story?
When he was
The
in North
best.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
His
the
old man
man's like,
goes,
Yeah, please tell
Don't
Cal.
take the first offer, mate. Whatever you do,
they offered him
never take the first
$7,500 bucks. He goes,
He's like,
"Oh,
whoa, fuck!
we're
What are you
in."
doing? Take it.
This is more than I make at the rower.
And then boy Kimmy, Kimmy goes, when is Righty putting on the boots?
This is question of the year, I think.
yeah, when
That's
are you putting on the
I don't
boots?
know.
And then
I want a date, right, man.
Might have to squeeze a game in.
For the
Yeah.
ones next week in halfback.
Oh, we
'Cause we've-
got enough halves. No, we don't.
So let
Everyone's
us-
injured.
I
at
think
half.
Laney's paying half.
let us know when you do that because it'll make me
Oh.
feel better about my game. And
It wouldn't. I've seen you throw intercepts and lose games and put
And
our
miss
season
tackles.
in jeopardy
Yeah.
just quietly.
and then Dano, Kimmy was hoping you were going to be the TBC on the weekend in the team announcement.
Yeah. I was just going to put a bit of strapping over the
Just-
arm.
No,
just put
Shane
some soft
Webke.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Webke. And,
Yeah.
Padding,
Just
plenty of
Put a
padding.
That's
bit
an
of padding in
incredible
there.
effort.
But at
Then
this point, I reckon I could probably just cut it off and play. You know,
Shane
just get it
Webke is
straight.
probably
hopefully
the
you get the word
toughest
tomorrow,
man
man,
ever.
so you can just sort of something to aim for.
Where did you fracture? What part of it?
In
Was
fact, I snapped the scaphoid in half.
it?
I've
So
done
your
that.
scaphoid's
I
no
played
good.
the whole
Yeah,
year.
apparently the
coward.
scaphoid's got really bad blood receptors
Yeah,
or
it does.
something.
He
And
played a whole year with
died.
it.
I broke my scaphoid, played a whole season, then got done after.
Jesus,
All right,
footy,
hero.
footy hasn't been good to you, eh?
and then I
It was 3 years.
No,
in
I
a
was on the
row.
piss when I did it.
I just
I
damaged.
broke it on the piss.
Ankle, elbow, then he did his scaphoid. But played
Wow.
You're rubbish.
Yeah.
So I snapped the scaphoid in half, and I got a little fracture in the radius as well.
How does it feel, pain wise and things like that? You got
Every now and then I
Little
get
bit.
a little bit of pain.
obviously because you haven't been able to move it a lot.
but,
You're
and
gonna have a
it
bit of
gets
discomfort.
fucking annoying. Like when you try and sleep, just trying to find somewhere to put your
your
arm.
arm.
Yeah.
And like,
you need to bonk yourself in
and
the
like
head.
and you wake up and this cast is like a bloody scratchy. So
Mm.
sometimes you wake up and you're on your face and you wake up with a bit of a graze.
It's
And,
rash.
but hopefully, tomorrow's the goal. Hopefully tomorrow they
Well,
tell
how long's
me.
it been now? 4 weeks or 5?
Tomorrow will be it's been 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
So
First game.
yeah. So 4 weeks. So hopefully that tomorrow they say
That's why they say with your scaphoid, if you do
Takes
it, you should
6
get
to
it done
8.
because it is literally, like 4 weeks in a cast, and usually it's good.
No, you're
But
definitely doing the
some
right thing.
some bugger lugs just
yeah.
decided to keep.
Well, I asked them last time I was there, am I any chance of getting it off next time? And they said, probably not. You're probably looking at 6 weeks in the cast.
My
but-
wrist is fucked now. That's as far back as it goes.
No,
But
yeah,
if,
bone graft.
if I was in the NRL, there wouldn't have even been
Yeah.
a question. The same night, I would have been in with a pin in it, and I'd be
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
footy again already.
Yeah.
But I'm not in the NRL. I
Yeah.
play open ones at Mitchie, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
But
much.
I love that haircut, bro.
about that.
Thanks, Christian.
About-
I
it's much
appreciate
better.
it.
About that, you in the one side, but you got to go through the threes to get back in now.
Oh, I'll gladly go. Every time I play threes, I get a hat trick, so I'm not really worried about that anyway.
And they do need a guy who can do
Yeah.
that.
Can I play threes
Do
next
you do your tries from Div 3 count for your nudie runs?
No, well, I'm naked
Yeah.
all the time anyway,
Right.
so it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter. And everyone goes, "Oh, you played 30 seconds. You're on the nudie." I said, "Well, does it really matter? Because like it's my party trick, having my cock out, pretty much." And, like,
You and your
You-
brother Jack Wells.
Because
you got
our
it
party
formed,
trick was
right?
it shows you how you make a penis disappear.
yeah. So watch me put this thing inside me. Ready? Oh, no.
Oh, God.
So let's rapid fire these ones, yeah? So we got David Ellis, who is best game changes in history of league.
JT.
Uh,
Oh,
all the
Greg
superstars.
Inglis.
English
changed,
yeah. If
changed
you
games.
if you were chasing a 2-point lead and you had Inglis out wide, you'd be setting up.
If you were watching
Together.
the weekend, you'd say Tony Staggs.
Oh,
That fucking
good
try.
player, yeah.
No, just on
That
that
was
try, that
fucking
try was
unreal.
unbelievable.
Oh.
Yeah, it was freakish.
Yeah.
I was aroused.
Obviously, that's not in history. I'm just saying that was an awesome try.
Yeah.
But like, it's
Um,
shit like that people in history have done that would
Tedesco?
bring to mind.
Tedesco's, he's obviously not there yet, but he's not far off it. Just even last year, the Origin try, the grand final try.
Mate, Matty Bowen comes to mind for me.
Bowen could light it up.
Yeah.
He could
Him
light
and
his
it up.
combo
Thurston.
with Thurston, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Matty
Crazy.
Bowen was that one where you even it with fucking 30 seconds to go, you're expecting him to do
Yeah,
anything.
that's right.
Yeah. So I'd say for me, it's Bowen, I'd say.
And there's a
Not a bad option.
Bowen. He's brilliant. Inglis. It's hard to beat what he can bring.
Yeah.
Who else? There's plenty
Jonathan
of superstars.
Thurston
Cameron
was
Smith.
fucking unreal.
Smith's game management.
What was
Smith
it?
can chip
The
away at
game
you.
against the Broncos, where the first half the Broncos sort of stuck with Melbourne, and then Cameron Smith just kicked them completely out of the game, just absolutely dominated. They end up winning by 30. That's exactly what Cameron Smith does. He doesn't stand out as a bloke who breaks 3 tackles to then go and chip and chase the fullback and score the try. But he's the bloke that, if it's a tight game
He'll grind ya.
or the game is the Melbourne's down with 20 to go, and Cameron Smith, he doesn't fuck around. He just kicks to the corners, does exactly what he's supposed to do, and they back themselves. And
Well, how old is he now?
leads
Like 36?
36,
36?
37,
Yeah.
37.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
37.
4 years older.
That's just crazy shit.
He's
yeah, 4 years
37.
older than me, I think.
He just, yeah.
Debuted in
To be
2000.
playing-
Debuted in 2002.
Like to
Yeah.
be playing 9, you
Oh.
know, and the shit that he
To
does. his
average
defense
40 tackles
is-
a game on his
yeah,
career.
Like the
Yeah.
stuff he
Oh.
does, that's just
Jesus, I haven't
amazing.
made 40 tackles in my life,
And then-
ever.
And then we got the mechanics
Did he rinse you?
jumping
Is
in.
this the one who
He
rinsed you?
fucking he rinsed me.
Yeah.
He goes, how does Freddie keep getting a gig at Mitchie starting side each week after the pass last week that led to an intercept from the opposition team?
Great
He's captain.
question.
He's the captain. We can't.
So mechanic, I swear to God, you called a couple of forward passes that were very marginal. or against your own team. So let's just sort that out first. But yeah, mate, I'll take that on the chin. We did have momentum at the time, and I fucking totally changed that. So, you know, it was a fuck up, and I don't always make the right decisions. But anyway,
What happened?
You very rarely make the right decision.
I think Clino's coming after this to just get his daily from Freedy. That keeps him in the side as well.
Daily what, lad?
I don't know.
Yeah, he knows,
Daily
he
something.
knows
I
I
don't
don't,
know.
he knows I don't have a gag reflex. But anyways, and then
What time we all got to be out here by then?
yeah, so we got Sean Valentine in the past. So this is a fucking paragraph. In the
Yes.
past, in the NRL/ARL, we had under 20s reserve grade and
We
A
spoke
grade
about that,
Yeah.
with a salary cap of around 3.5 million. How come now with a salary cap of near 10 million can only have an A grade? The jump from under 20s as shown with the Broncos players is too big, and the only small number can make that jump. Only a small number can make that
Well,
jump.
And
We
a lot of
spoke
blokes
about
feel
this
that,
already,
and a
but-
lot of blokes feel they've failed if they've got to go and play
And Luck,
Back to
state
kick
league,
up,
yeah,
and Luckman,
which is a lot harder than 20s will ever be.
Luckman, your
Agreed.
boy Luckman jumped in and he goes,
Your dad, Luckman.
100%. I've been saying
I
that
wish.
for years.
I just can't see. I just think it'd dilute the product too much if we had a reserve grade plus the state leagues as well. I couldn't see how they'd do it. I would like to see a bit of a national comp and see like North Sydney get to play against Redcliffe and that in some format if you wanted to do it like that. Challenge Cup style type thing.
Yeah,
But
not
you
bad.
need clubs to make players available. They couldn't do it midweek because your NRL clubs wouldn't be sending your blokes back to North or East or something to go
Yeah.
and play someone on a Wednesday night.
But then also, there's a lot of teams also. There'd be a lot of teams that would try and get into that sort of thing, and you can't be having a comp with 20 plus teams. So then that also would become, I suppose, the reserve grade comp because everyone would be wanting to play that league.
Unfortunately, you need to have that second tier comp, but we cannot have a state league and a reserve grade anymore. It's just not the go. I remember we used to do it. It used to happen a lot in the 90s. The late 90s, they started going away from it, like when Melbourne came in and they took over at North and all that shit. That was the go when the Broncos were at Toowoomba. Then things just sort of changed. I agree. There's an enormous jump. 20s kids, I watched a lot of 20s in those first few years, and a lot of kids, I Google to see where they are now, and they're playing like Sydney Shield, which is
if they simmer
which is
out, eh?
the equivalent of Open Ones.
And that's the thing that sucked, and that's the thing that sucks with also with their mental side of things.
Yeah.
Is they're flying around with NRL clubs. They're thinking they're the next big thing.
Staying in
And-
the same hotels.
Exactly, and when it doesn't happen, they think it's on them.
Yeah, they think
You know,
that's a
where-
fail.
I think you
Where
failed.
it's like they need to, like the NFL, they need to set these kids up knowing that it's a fucking 2 to 3% chance that they're going to be playing in the NRL, and I don't think they do that well enough.
Look,
And
'cause I've spent a lot of years doing the junior reps,
Yeah.
and a lot of the boys, and I've said to them, because they all, especially a lot of the Redcliffe boys,
Yeah.
I've told them, look, boys, just because you think you're the bee's knees now,
That's
means
it.
shit all.
Yeah.
Two of the boys, what's his name? Tommy Dearden, he's one of my juniors.
Fuck, he's a
And-
good player.
He
Yeah.
turned out well, didn't he?
He's a
Fuck,
good kid.
Useless.
Nice kid. He's a nice kid. And then Tessie Newey. that
Yeah,
was
he's got
playing.
potential,
Yeah,
and he's already
so
played
he
some
was
NRL.
one of our juniors. But I look at the boys that played with my eldest son, those years, hey Cal, and like Ian Riccardi was one of the players.
I reckon he was the best out of all of them.
Out of all of
He
them,
went
I was
to
like,
Penrith.
he will go. He
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
go.
Australian schoolboy
And they
back
just
rower.
drop him, and that's what he said. They just fucking drop
There's-
him. They
say
don't
that.
give a shit about you.
There's
Yeah, I
always-
thought you were.
There's
See ya.
blokes everyone's got the story of the bloke.
His
the
brother,
blokes,
Riccardi's
you thought
brother,
were going to make it.
Gary was
Yeah,
at
he was
was
better.
at Manly.
He was a
And
halfback.
someone
Wasn't,
told
wasn't
me-
it him and Cherry Evans or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
it was
vying
the
for the
choice
first
between-
spot.
yep.
Yeah, and then
Was-
he took Cherry, and see how that turned out.
Was he
Yep.
the 23-year-old playing at Churchy when
That was the best story.
It might have been.
Dave told the
Actually-
best story.
Oh,
That
Gary,
was
did
so
you-
good.
the name rings a bell.
You got to listen to last week's podcast.
That's good.
It's so fucking good.
But it's-
That was all his best chat all night.
Because I got rinsed. As well.
And you know what also is for his best
You were
chat
full
is,
cut though.
is Righty was saying the Brisbane Broncos team this year is the worst team in it. Like he was trying to back it is the worst team in our history, but the Bulldogs are still below him on the ladder.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What are you talking
No, no, but for the roster,
Well,
he didn't
technically he's their
understand that.
worst
But
fucking
that's
side.
like, but
He doesn't
this-
understand
the
English. He doesn't understand simple.
and he just won't listen. And if you did you notice every conversation turned about himself and how good he was?
He asked me tonight, did the boys miss him on the weekend? Did
He's
the-
still
the
wondering
reserve
why
grade
he got
boys
dropped
miss him?
from reserve grade.
Yeah, he said, did they miss
Because
me?
Connor Murray came back to his.
And then he
Who
messaged.
can
He rang me
tackle?
before to
Yeah,
tell
who
me
can
someone.
tackle?
He said someone said he was playing better football than some blokes in the side, and I'm going, yeah, but the only blokes that matter are the cunts who pick the sides.
Yeah.
You know, we've
You
all
can play
got
one
an
position,
opinion. If we were those of us that didn't play on the weekend, or if Dane picked his man of the match, it might be different to mine. It might be different to Clint.
But
It
it's
could
still
be,
not Voorhey.
yeah.
You could ask 100 cunts, it still wouldn't have been Voorhey.
And
I could have picked my top 5, and Sam would
Yeah.
not have been in my
Yeah.
top 5.
Bottom 5?
I just want to touch
For
on
a
this.
bloke who could be winning the game for us, you have to win the game for us.
Yeah, 100%. I want to touch on these last two because then
Is it true? Is it true that you sort of stifle him out there?
What do you mean?
Stifle him because
Sam.
you're a what is it? A dominant figure, which we need.
You're like his
And
dad.
like he
You're not
feels,
the
yeah.
alpha.
So you don't
he,
let him
He
play
feels
well.
you're like his stepdad. That you feel like you're not my real dad, Christian Freed. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, Sam, we've got to control this set. And we'll kick in the corner. No, we don't. I'm going to chip and chase early.
I kind of
You
got
know,
to
my
settle
real
First
da-
5 minutes,
I
we
got
need
it.
to score.
I gotta
My real
settle him
dad
down a
wouldn't
bit.
make me fucking kick into a corner on the last tackle.
It's funny though, mate, because like about his dad, he's got a good sense of humour about it because you don't know him.
Does he have parents?
No, he's
No.
got a mum, but his dad. Because I went over his house and I go, "Oi, so where's your dad at, boy?" And he goes, "Oh, if you ever see him, let me know."
Well, he's
He
bullshit.
went to get milk.
Okay.
He went to get milk 17
Well-
years ago and he never came
Well,
back.
he's absolutely bullshitted you, cunt, because he was working with the bloke when I first met him a few years ago.
I'm sure he worked
His
for his parents.
dad, he worked with his dad in a warehouse and stuff. Like, and then they fell
well, I
out.
take-
They
Worked
never
in
I
a
told
take
me.
warehouse.
back feeling sorry for him, but here we go. We got two left. Jake Roden is Danny Rowden. Sorry, Rowden. Is Danny Williams?
a good
I usually
fella.
just call him Row.
He is a good fella.
Is Danny Williams a natural born number 7? Has he been moulded into the role through dedication to his craft, or has he redefined the role as we know it?
He has redefined the
Moulded.
role because he's just off the cuff. And that
That's
works well when you got
yeah.
blokes who run off you, but the poor guy got left posted on the weekend and his forward, some of his forwards, not all of them.
There was about a 15-minute
shade.
period. I thought he was the only Mitchie player on the field on the weekend, actually.
Yeah,
He
well,
was running the
A
ball.
long time
And then-
where he seemed
and-
like he was by himself.
And then our boy Noxie chimes in. He goes, "Jake Rowden, I've heard the term erratic genius thrown around a fair bit on this stuff here."
Yes,
Exactly
he
right.
is the erratic.
And quietly while we're here, congratulations to Noxie. Him and his missus just announced they're having a kid. So
Yeah, we
well done, Noxie.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's
He-
good to
I,
see
di- I didn't think
Well done.
Noxie could get it up anymore, but good on you, old fella.
It's good to see someone can get the job done.
Yeah.
around here.
So on that, just pause it on
I'm
the.
taking
Zingers.
injections to help with that shit. All right.
Get one of them pumps they were talking
Yeah.
about, man.
Injecting meth isn't helping, bro.
Yeah.
Those injections you're having.
I say
Peptides
swallowing
and
it
meth.
helps as well.
Does Laney listen to this?
You know that
Yeah, he
going down
does.
there doesn't help
Probably.
that.
He does.
It's actually got to go in
Well-
there, not in there.
But that's just for fun.
All I want to say about Laney is he's a shit golfer, okay?
Yeah.
If he listens to this, that's all.
Well,
I want
Yeah,
to
he
say.
listens at work. He tells me he listens.
On a
so
serious
he'll hear
note, he has told me he's the best coach in the West Mitchie club. His
Well,
record
they
would
lost
probably
again
defy
They
that.
lost again on
Yeah.
the weekend.
Don't
Right.
worry, brother.
Our boys
I've,
got
I've,
ripped.
I've been.
I'm
I've
back
been
on
in
Laney's
this-
team,
They're
yeah.
the
I've
best
been
at giving up
fifth,
a lead, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think
Oh,
they are.
they
It's a
got-
Mitchie thing. It's
they
really
got, they got
Mitchie.
schooled by the guys that were coming last, and he dropped 100 last week with Fats. So it's don't worry, things will turn around. You've got enough time. Oh, that's right, you don't. You've only got 5 games left. Be careful of Max Gill sliding in to take over your job. It's funny when you're winning games, no one wants to give you advice. But as soon as you start losing a few, everyone knows exactly what you're doing wrong. Like some drunk at the bar will go, "You're overcomplicating it. You just got to draw and pass." Yeah, sweet, thanks. I never thought of that. Cheers, man.
Has Maxi Gill talked to a girl yet, or does he shied away again?
I
No, he
think
goes on this
He
Bumble
communicates.
site. Yeah,
He communicates,
Yeah.
but it's through sign language or
From 10 metres away.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
him to send it to Dory.
No, it's on 10 metres away. It's a grinder. He's fucking
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
Wrong app.
But anyway, we got to turn this bitch into an orgy with another girl guest. So And I want to, first of all, before we round it up, thanks, Karen, for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cal, for coming on.
Yeah.
again,
I
actually
tried to
saying
say a bit
some
more.
words.
Yeah.
You did, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I said
We'll
it.
close this bitch off, and then you're going to do your skull because we'll put that on Insta.
Who's that up there?
That's
Keenan.
Keenan when he's about
brother.
12.
It looks like Gerald and his younger sister.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
yeah.
I always chuck it up every week. It's hilarious. Look at his haircut.
Yeah.
It looks like a far quit.
He's
That's you,
so,
Keenan.
he's so
I used to
funny.
feel like that.
Yeah.
He was like, these three, him, Keenan, and Paulie Sandow all hung out together.
Yeah.
They were the rat bags of Grovely
Went to
State Golf.
Grovely together.
They got him suspended.
Yeah.
They got Callum suspended
Why
by
doesn't that
beating up
surprise
another player.
I'm pretty
Pick on
sure-
the white kid.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
basically.
Callum would have been the
Blame the
instigator.
white kid.
Alpha
Was
male.
this other kid a security guard anyway? Was he?
But,
Did he?
Yeah.
You really hate security guards, don't you, big
But
guy?
anyway, Karen, it's legends like you that put their own time out to just
Yeah.
help out footy
Yeah.
without any
definitely.
payments and stuff like that, because I know you're not getting any. But everyone, we all appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Righty will touch on it and
Well
then take
said.
this bitch out.
Thanks,
Karen.
thanks to
And,
Karen and Cal for coming on.
Thanks for having me
Thanks
again.
for having
I
us.
hope I've made up for my last
Oh, you were
performance.
fantastic.
You haven't.
You were
Yeah.
great
You were-
tonight.
That story
Yeah.
about you when you first met your missus, that was brilliant.
I tried to brush it,
We're
but
gonna-
it didn't go away.
Okay.
What position you like hitting
Well,
her at?
okay.
Maaates?
Well,
Okay.
What-
He doesn't
okay.
know. He's just turned into the worst guest again.
what Cal
I'm not dropping you to your levels.
what Cal told us off air when we have the show down at Mitchie, let's just say it could be a sneaky proposal and he could get down on one knee.
Don't tell her that.
Don't
You'll
believe-
fucking take it
Trust
serious.
Trust me,
nice.
she's already punching at the bit. Like,
Yeah.
She's already asking whether she should get the extra private health for pregnancy or whatever. I'm like, fuck
Well,
me.
well,
I got
well.
2 grandkids. I don't need any more yet.
Well.
Stop tying off your force.
Well, we're
What-
better than to
what's
make
that?
the romance happen than the West Mitchie Clubhouse, the place where dreams are made and sometimes broken. So, COVID's still around. Everyone keep being careful. Even in the lunchroom at my work, you can only sit 2 people at a giant table. And I don't know half the people there, so I just sit by myself anyway.
Is there a
for the
table?
bloke she
Is there a
just nodded.
table at Centrelink?
No, oh please.
They have
Do
a
you
lunchroom.
actually pay tax on any of your jobs, fuckhead? Do you just make up names and things like that?
Yeah, he's Frishman
And
Creed.
I don't mean the drop-off jobs you do. leaving parcels and picking up envelope jobs.
Oh.
If they make it legal, then you'd be right.
Yeah,
You'd have to
you'd
pay
be
tax.
right. No wonder you like going to Colorado so much with the hoochie coochie
Anything
cookies.
goes. Anything
Yeah.
goes.
Anyway, the Mitchie boys were on the road for 2 weeks. If you're in the area of Kitchener Park at Wynnum, near the Wynnum North train station, about 4 streets from the Waterloo Hotel, stop in, watch us at 3 p.m. as we strive for our first win of the month. Let's hope the boys from Mitchie can wake up. Thanks to everyone who's listening. Thanks to everyone who's going to watch us on this. Remember, stay true to the game. Be careful in this COVID. We don't want... there's too many people fucking stuff up for the rest of us. Just got to fucking be a little bit smart and you'll get by. Can everyone post a comment or yes, I'd love to... Say, yes, I'd love to see it if you would like to see Cal propose to his missus when we do a show down at West
Holy
Mitchie. And we will do our best to get this to happen.
Jesus.
All right. Thanks again to everybody. Thanks to the boys. Thanks to the guests. And we'll be back in a week.
Thanks very
Oh,
much.
actually, I
Thanks.
won't be back in a week, but everybody else will.
Where
See you
will
then.
you be?
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll be at Sunny Coast. See you then.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
We might all get a word in there.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cal.
Nice.
What we're doing now.